Nice to meet you, Jack.
Nice to meet you too.
Why do you think reading is important?
Well, it helps you learn more words, and more words means you know more, and that just helps your brain.
The Children's Festival of Reading is a way to kick off our summer reading clubs at the library, and we started it to get people excited and engaged, and it has been a fabulous event.
You can draw anything you want using 3 basic shapes.
We have lots of studies that show that when children don't read over the summer while they're in school, not only do their reading skills not advance, but they also lose reading skills. They can lose up to 2 months of reading competency during the summer months if they don't read, which means when they go back to school, teachers need to reteach what they learned in the previous year and aren't able to move forward. And this is a cumulative effect, so it keeps snowballing and snowballing, and so by the time children graduate into the 9th grade, they can be up to 2.5 years behind if they don't continue reading throughout the summer. So what we want to do with the Children's Festival of Reading is encourage kids to keep reading, and not because it's good for their education, which it is, and that's the ultimate goal, but we want them to see the joy and the fun in reading, and how when you read in the summer you can read whatever you want. It can be comic books, it can be picture books, it can be boxes of cereal, doing the puzzles on the back of the box of cereal. As long as kids keep reading, that's what's important.
We used to have a few thousand kids in summer reading, and because of the festival, we now have close to 13,000 kids who sign up for summer reading. So it's a great way to highlight the best of the authors, get kids excited, and it's just a really fun day.
Our goals with the Children's Festival of Reading are to encourage children to keep reading over the summer, and to provide access to authors and illustrators and musicians that people in East Tennessee don't always get to see. Very few book tours come through the area. Private schools sometimes bring in authors, but they're not available to everybody. The festival is free and open to the public. Anybody who wants to come can come meet our authors, and it's a truly special experience to be able to offer that to the families of East Tennessee at no charge.
We started it really as a way to introduce kids to new authors, to actually meet the authors of the books they love.
You got to have a place where people can commune and have a sense of community and family.
Why do you think reading is important?
Because one, it's really educative and can teach you about stuff, and two, sometimes it's just really funny.
And at least if people are still reading and value a book, then they value our own culture, and they value the stories that can be passed down. And if it's not written down, sometimes it doesn't exist. And you gotta write down things, and you gotta not put your faith in completely digital things. You gotta actually have human interaction.
I think when you get a chance to meet the author or the creator of a book or the illustrator, it personalizes it in a way that brings you into the story a little bit more. So as a child, you love the book, you love the character, you love the art, but you don't necessarily know that you can be an artist, you can be the creator of a book.
I like the fact that I'm able to get out and talk to kids. For me, it's much more important that I let them know that authors are accessible. They're not these distant kind of heroes or different people. Everybody needs to be able to tell their stories, and each generation is going to need to have storytellers. So I love the chance to get out, talk to kids and say, hey, I was just like you as a kid, and here's what you can do to be like me if you want to be a writer, and I tell them what I do and what makes my life work and how lucky I am that I get to write.
So I think it really gives kids permission to create on their own. At least that's what I hope it does. I hope it ties the creator and his art together so that the reader understands that relationship and can enter into it in a more personal way.
Well, I'm not reading anything at the moment. I am making a story about some books right now.
So, you're a writer?
A little.
Oh, what kind of adventures do your characters get into?
I haven't really got to that part yet.
The event is just full of so much activity. We have everything from a science stage where you can meet scientists and interact with different experiments. We have the Friends of the Library have used books there, so you can buy a bunch of books. You can buy a whole summer's worth of books for less than $10.
Would you like to try some ice cream?
We have the Junior League there with Kids in the Kitchen, so you get to create food and learn the relationship between cookbooks, which is reading, and food, so I like that part of it. We certainly have lots of arts and crafts, and you get to make crafts that tie in with the books that are being featured at the festival. One of the great things about the event is that we do have the student groups, children's groups play. One of the wonderful groups is the Knoxville Youth Jazz Orchestra that come out, and they do a great job. I love hearing those guys.
What's the favorite word you've learned?
Probably warily. It took me quite a while to figure out what that meant.
What's it mean?
It means that you watch them closely. But at first, it made me think of being wary, like very tired.
Yeah.
I get those two mixed up.
Have you had a good time here today?
Yes.
Are you feeling pretty weary right now, or are you ready to go?
Probably neither.
Yeah. Have you ever read any serious books? Yeah. So what are you going to read this summer?
Oh, I'm gonna buy some new books from the library. But I don't really know what they are yet.
Okay. What's your favorite book?
Probably The Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Really? Why do you think that? Why is that one your favorite?
Because it's just really funny.
It's funny, isn't it?
Thank you.